When we make offering to the monks, we are making offerings on different levels. We are making offerings to create karma that we may study and practice and learn the Dharma. The second reason we make offerings to the monks is that they don't have to do what we do, so they can focus on the Dharma so the Dharma does not die. The third reason we support the Dharma and the Dharma institutions is that monks hold vows. Those vows are given by Shakyamuni. When we donate to the monks, we don't directly donate to those vows. When we donate to those vows, it helps us to keep our vows stable and strong for those who wish to receive refuge or have refuge. So hence the third jewel is represented by the Sangha. The third jewel is Namo Sanghaya. That is Arya Jewel Sangha Bodhisattvas represented by monks and nuns. You don't take refuge in monks and nuns. They represent the third refuge, Sangha. Okay? Now, we let monks sit ahead. We don't talk loudly near monks. We don't spit and cough near them. We don't laugh very loud. We don't sit cross over them. We don't sit above them. We don't put ladies near them. For nuns, we don't put men next to them. We don't step on their robes. We don't sit on their robes. We don't give them a dirty seat. We don't burp and cough and sneeze in their presence. We don't talk loudly in their presence. And let me tell you why. It's not because you'll collect negative karma or they'll be offended. It's to remind you of etiquette and create awareness in your mind. So when you're around monks and you show good manners, you talk not so loud, you don't show your backside to them, you give them the best seat, you give them the best food, you serve them first, you make sure the place is clean, you wash their robes, if you have the honor to, because I had the honor to wash my Guru's robes many times, to sweep out their residence. If you have the honor to do that to serve, it is not that they are gods and you are a servant. It is to create awareness and humility in your mind so you're ready to receive the Dharma. But you should be not unnatural near the monks and feel like if you do anything wrong, you're going to hell. No, if you do anything wrong to a monk, you don't go to hell because intention is a secret, not action. So if you're rude around the monk and not know it and you've been doing it for years, it's all right. You didn't know. You didn't know. So we show respect to the monks not because they're gods. We don't lie to a monk. One of the worst things you can do is make a promise to a monk or make a commitment or a samaya to a monk and break it. So if you say, I'm going to write this book, I'm going to clean this, I'm going to take care of this website, I'm going to raise this fund, I'm going to do this dinner, I'm going to make the offerings, I'm going to set up, I'm going to prepare, Xerox this. If you tell a monk you're going to do that and you break it, it's considered very heavy karma. Why? That karma will come back to you that whatever you try to start, you cannot finish. Why? Because usually what a monk promises you, that monk or nun will do. And so monks and nuns don't have to push each other and tell each other and remind each other. They have awareness. So they don't want to hurt you or disappoint, and they will remember everything they can. So when a monk practices that kind of awareness, you being around them should practice that type of awareness. When you practice that type of awareness around a monk or a nun, it's not that you go to hell if you don't and you go to heaven if you do. It is a chance for you to practice awareness. So if you say to the monk, I'm going to make offerings every day, or the monk tells you to make offerings every day, you make offerings every day and you don't ever try to get out of it. Why? To create awareness and to humble yourself so that you can receive Dharma, either from the monk or from a master in the future. Do you know why Buddha made the monks go begging? To put their pride down. How many of you, when you want to go ask something for someone, you don't want to because you don't want to look bad, or you don't want to look successful? How many of us have such egos about not having money or wealth or success and how bad it will make us look? How much do we put up a front so that we don't look bad? And in fact, we look very bad because people can look at you, know you don't have money, no matter how you put up that front. And so the front becomes so tiresome because you're putting up this front that everybody can see through. How many of us cannot beg or say that we failed or we don't have this or that because we put up? How many of us pretend we're rich or pretend we're successful? How many of us? And we're not. It's fine. How many of us? And how much suffering does it create? And how do we affect our children? And how do we pass that lineage to our children to do the same thing in the future and make them suffer? And then we say, oh, I love you. No, You don't love them. You use them for yourself. So therefore, Buddha made people aristocracy who became monks, Brahmins who became monks, businessmen who became monks, who are not used to begging, get in robes, cut their hair, and beg. Some 1 month monks go and beg and go to the village. Why? To put their egos down. Because if the ego doesn't go down and the pride doesn't go down, Dharma will never go in. There will be no transformation. So Buddha made monks go and beg for their food, beg for their clothes, and beg and beg and beg. When Buddha had the begging bowl in his hand, it represents begging. That's not Tibetan iconography. That's universal Buddhist iconography. Buddha has a begging bowl. The begging bowl represents destruction of one's pride. So if you take refuge in the Buddha, if you have a lot of pride and you like to hide, you better remember Buddha's bowl. It will help you. In Tibet, in Nepal, in Mongolia, northern India, in the Russian states, Buddhist states, it's very difficult for people to go. In China, in the winter, very difficult for the monks to go out and beg. Hence, a system came that the sponsors came to the monastery and made offerings there. So what? The sponsors bring their relatives, their family, start cooking and putting on music and dancing? No. They will come and give donations, either in kind, such as vegetables or foods to the monastery, or in money, where they go purchase it themselves. And then the monks had monk cooks that would take shifts. They would switch, take shifts. Some of the great masters in the monastery now teaching were cooks in the past. Monks have no pride. And so they will cook and they distribute the food. And when they cook and distribute the food, the sponsors or the lay people will come to the monastery, make 3 prostrations to the monks to say, thank you for letting me offer this to you. And then you would offer each monk a ang pao. And the reason you offer the ang pao, because there are things that they need, such as soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, paying electricity bills, today. So you offer them an ang pao. In some monasteries, you offer incense to the Sangha also. And then you go up to the altars and you make kata offerings to the altars. You make kata offerings to the throne. Why do you make kata offerings to the throne? To remember and to show respect to the Dharma teacher of that place, that started that place. Give education. So for some people, I've spoken about this for the last 20 years. Their mannerism to monks is good when they're happy and bad when it's not. Their minds have not changed. For some, their respect and their growth of mind and their awareness toward monks have grown. And I'm very happy. We act natural around them, but we hold an awareness to be alert. We act natural around them. Why? Serve them first means to learn to serve others first. Show them respect means to show respect to others. Not to talk loudly or laugh loudly around them is not to talk and laugh loudly around other people, so that we don't disturb their minds. To feed them first and offer them the best is to remember to offer others the best. It's to create awareness. So if they're a good monk, they will receive it humbly, and they will do prayers, and they will not have any pride in receiving it. Some, very rarely, some monks do have pride for being monks, for being served. That should not be. And a teaching monk should have decorum. A teaching monk should have dignity. A teaching monk should have charisma from having controlled his mind. That is very, very important. So therefore, that is the reason why we go and perpetuate the Sangha. Then within the Sangha, we have highly realized masters who purposely take rebirth again and again and again and again. And those masters in the Tibetan tradition, we call them Tulku. T-U-L-K-U. Trul is emanation, Ku is body. Tulku means emanated body. One who can emanate their body back again to help they have attained that power. If you have the title Rinpoche, it doesn't mean you're a Tulku. But some teachers are so revered, they call them Rinpoche, meaning precious teacher. Doesn't mean they're reincarnated. So the key to seeing the names is they have to have a Tulku in their title, not Rinpoche. So if they have a Tulku, you call them a Rinpoche, meaning precious teacher who is emanated back to help others. So those teachers within the Tibetan tradition are highly revered, highly sought after, highly followed, because they are supposed to do extraordinary works for many lifetimes and have extraordinary mind and extraordinary motivation and extraordinary strength, extraordinary patience, and extraordinary knowledge, or the absorption of knowledge very quickly. Usually these beings learn very fast, absorb very fast, and able to pick up their work from their previous lives at a very young age. So they revere them and give them special attention and show them special respect and keep them clean in order to prepare them for a life of teaching. That is the purpose of a Tulku.